Are you cold?
No.
Okay. So.
Stick, bruh.
The Baldur's Gate music has been the ultimate for this part of the campaign, just because I'm so...
You have to put Tashan Mutner on at one point, though.
Ah, yes, that's so true. Oh my god, let me just get that.
That is the Gauntlet song. When that song started playing in Japan, when we were playing in person,
you guys,
Gauntlet.
Something magical did happen when we started this fight, and we just all heard the...
Hey, yeah. Look up, guys, if you can't hear the music, look up Tesham Mutna, The Witcher soundtrack, and put that on.
Yeah.
That is the Gauntlet song.
How do you say those
I'm going to
words?
save it just until we get a Tesham. Mutna is Mutna. I don't know what it means, but it is a it's the name of a song from the Witcher soundtrack, like Lily said. And it's just so evocative of this fight.
Right.
I know the Witcher's got a very similar, has like a Witcher obstacle course or something called like the Grasses, and I was so inspired by that. And was going with all the music from it, and I was like, this is perfect. And there's another one which really heavily reminds me of the siege of Whitecliff Castle.
The Day of the Long Night.
Yeah, Night of the Long Fangs.
Night of the Long Fangs.
Oh, natural. Anyway, so you guys, I'm sure we don't need to go too deep into a recap. But after some fighting and maneuvering through crowds, some crowd work, you guys push your way through, making a deal with a guard, which perhaps might not even need to be followed through on, because it seems that you guys may not be fighting the Gauntlet after all. After some discussion, you guys came up with the idea of just saying you'll fight in the Gauntlet and actually sneaking your way down to the pits where they're sort of holding their front-running team. As you know, the next round of fights, there are about 5 fights per round, are when Shu and her squad are going to be out on the field slaughtering people. For the first time, Ulster, you think maybe not only could you save everybody in the Gauntlet who was previously killed by Shu, but you also consider the possibility that you may be able to avoid fighting at least overtly altogether. So,
oh, the misery.
With that in mind, you guys are standing on a heavily trodden, uneven sort of path that's been hewn around the edge of this Colosseum. The Colosseum goes up 4 stories, and it has an external, kind of an exoskeleton, which is very roughly put together compared to the more sort of well-structured inner stands, which you can just see the back of. This external kind of skeleton is somewhat like scaffolding. You can see ladders and stairs which are sort of snaking up behind it, sort of letting people get to seats. And the way that these are kind of bowed and trodden on and dirtied, you can tell that there's a lot of people in the stands today. You see a last kind of few groups of stragglers kind of rushing up, and as one of them rushes, and a halfling, kind of with a very haggard appearance, messed up hair, rough clothes, but clearly with a penchant for bloodlust, starts scrambling up after his friends to the top of this ladder to get to their seats, and you just sort of see it happen before it does. This moment where he reaches for the top rung and it just breaks off, and he goes back and reaches out with one hand and just slam his back on some of the scaffolding, and is sort of pinballed down 2 stories, and lands kind of flat on his face, and there's blood kind of coming out from under his face, but he doesn't look dead. But nobody cares. Nobody really goes over to him. And before you even have time to consider what sort of place that you've come to, you're all sort of ushered on with the crowds. Those guards who came over before to stop the swell of people coming through and put up the ballasts to close the gates, and now moving sort of in a circle and encouraging everyone to head to their seats. So you have left, and you have right. To the left, Loran indicated previously, perhaps you would find the more civilized areas of the Colosseum, the other entrance where invited guests especially would be ushered through to avoid them seeing this rougher side of things.
Are we not going straight down to shoot?
I'm giving you your options. That's the left. To the right, you can follow the riffraff if you want to, and you can see it gets rougher and it becomes more bloody. So obviously the options are yours. Where are you going? Where are you looking?
Has Astra transformed into Ulster yet?
I think that was mentioned.
But do we feel like we're like approaching where we would need to be in order to?
How long does your transformation last?
It only lasts an hour per spell slot.
Oh, you feel like you'd be there definitely within an hour.
Okay, then
it's a big place, but it's not that big.
Okay, then yes, and Astra is already practicing like mirroring Ulster's movements as they go.
Mm-hmm. Every now and then, when Ulster's like talking or like gesticulating, he pauses and looks at Slayer and is like, "Ooh, ooh."
Mm-hmm. Astra like does play along with it, like
yeah.
There's two of me.
You only wish now that Joral was here so there could be three of you.
3 Ulsters.
Indeed. Loran says 3 Ulsters.
No.
Oh, Sparks, come on, be a good sport. And he taps you on the back.
Loran sees like 2 Ulsters telling him off.
Yeah.
I have no problem with this.
2 regular Ulsters and 1 tall, scaly Ulster.
A tall stare, if you will.
Sparks, would you like to look like Ulster? It gives you a little mop of white hair with some magic.
Aelin, what was the pun you said? I missed it. Oh, tall stare? Was it tall stare?
Yes, a tall stare.
Thank you. Okay.
So, as you guys sort of make this transformation...
Our cover story is that we are twins.
Great. Oh, like that weird anime.
Mm. Yeah.
There's a weird anime.
I think it's called Migi and Dari.
About German twins.
Who are identical and they pretend to be one person.
But it's like...
weird.
It's almost like fetish. It's strange, but it's kind of not.
Horror. It's a bit eerie.
It's like there's something there. It's for some community that I'm not a part of, but I can't figure out what community. Anyway.
Okay.
Oh, they go around barefoot and stuff, so maybe it's foot stuff.
No.
Okay, anyway.
Okay.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's Migi Todari. I'm gonna send you guys a picture.
No!
Okay. They kind of look a little bit like Ulster.
I know, but like the content.
They kind of look a bit like Ulster. Gonna send you guys some photos.
Thank you.
That's definitely what you want to see.
I want to clarify. Had we decided not to gather intel because a certain someone in the group thought it probably would be a bit redundant, or I don't know.
It would be better. Forgive me if I'm wrong. My notes say that we're planning to go directly to Shu, kidnap her, and get the information later because we think it's too risky to go in with like Karak at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think I remember that. Yeah. All right.
For sure. Yeah. So with the plan that you formulated in Slayer's transformation, you've given yourselves a window of an hour. But if you would prefer to retcon and go back, then you guys can discuss that. But that's up to you.
I think I'm happy with plan. I just, do we go? Is Shu towards the riffraff? Is this crowds?
You guys get the impression that the fighters the crowds, considering they are trying a little bit to work with the government of this land to get this brought into a more mainstream, monitored sort of era. You get the impression they've separated those sort of two groups so that they can't quite see how revolting it is back here. And by that logic, you guys assume that if you're going to find Shu, you want to look away from the nicer area of the arena and towards the rougher area. So you guys can head down that way.
I'm going to ask Horace to ban this. Am I done?
Loran says, if he still likes you, after jilting him. For me.
I'm not jilting him. We are working together as a team, and it always was like that.
Of course, Ulster. You don't have to hide your plans from me.
What plans?
Your plans to sweep me off my feet, run away from your wedding, and steal all the crown jewels on the way out.
I don't know.
You've already got your own. Hello?
Gotcha! Gotcha!
He's so long.
I know.
Long, la, he's a baguette.
Basil? Basil's also here.
Are you a baguette?
Can I show you guys something cool? I have a lunar calendar for this year, and I want to put it on my wall, and I was flattening it out. I thought it's fun. Don't be a bitch.
Just ran up to Basman.
Because he is a bitch. Okay. You guys head around, away from the more well-kept area. You see Loran's heart sinking as you get further from here, and mud starts to creep up his nice leather boots. And he sort of every now and again prestidigitates himself to clean himself off. Contrastingly, Sarza just kind of trudges through, smash, 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 and every now and again gets a speckle of mud on Loran, and he just, every time he does, Loran just goes, can't teach. Some people can't.
Well, we're going to get dirty anyway. Also, it's probably the muddiest of them all.
But it's you also, it suits you. On him, it just looks sad.
What do you mean?
Well, Sarza always looks a bit sad.
Also picks up a rat and starts cradling it. What do you mean?
Oh, Ulster. That's like a flesh rat. They eat flesh.
Okay.
We've got flesh mites too. They won't. Is that okay? Good. There you go.
Basil.
Can I make a suggestion for our twins, looking between Ulster and Astra? If you don't want to be noticed right away by the person we're looking for, do you want the tall people out the front to?
We can certainly try.
Loran's like, good idea, and starts walking towards the front.
Or tall people around.
You can go in the middle.
I'll go in the middle.
I have the shield. You know,
I think Sarza and Sparks are the tall ones.
Yeah. Basil! Basil's so cute. Sorry, he's so cute. There's nothing I could do except tell him to come here.
Oh, never apologise for how cute Baz is.
For real. So cute.
Come say hello. Come say hello again.
When you come to the UK, guys, you'll see them for reals. When you escape, Aelin.
Dead cockroach, feet in the air.
Good.
Say hello.
Okay, so as you guys are walking, I would like everybody to make me a perception check, please.
5 billion.
He's twitching.
Dirty 20.
5 billion it is.
5 billion.
15.
Also a dirty 20. Twins!
Nice. The twins are moving in sync.
Lovely. Okay, so with a dirty 20, the two of you, And Sparks, you know, with their sort of perceptions, you're also a bit more on the lookout than usual, even if you don't spot it first. You guys kind of move around and you get into the more sort of the crowds of people who've clearly been here for a bit already. And there is an area which seems to be specifically for gambling. And what you've got is a just literally a pile of crates, two tall, which serve as a counter, and then four tall behind, which serve as like a kind of wall where they've plastered kind of these like ink spill drawings of each of the combatants. And also your eyes immediately go to Shu, and you're drawn to this kind of person you recognize from another world almost, but it takes a moment for this mind to catch up, for this memory to come through. And you stare at this woman for a while, white, kind of wild hair, harsh, sharp eyes, and strong bone structure, looking kind of as if she's been left out in the sun, kind of burnished, like scratched cheeks, rough skin, lots of texture around here and here. And
that's she.
You know. You know that is she. Only she is Baz. She is Baz. That's Shu! Actually, if we ever wanted to have a Shu cat, it would be a fawn Abyssinian, probably. Or a blue Abyssinian.
Or a Maine Coon.
A Maine Coon! Yeah. Oh!
I see it, yeah.
Hello.
Big monkey goes. Wow.
Oi!
And
no fighting. He's such a bully sometimes.
I know. And as you guys kind of look upon the scene, you also see a few other faces, and an interesting thing happens as you look across. You see Shu. You see a few people you don't recognize, also who maybe you vaguely recognize. At the very end, with a large pile of gold ahead of them, you see the portrait of a sort of strong-featured, dark-skinned dwarven woman with closely shaved hair on either sides, and a sort of like long kind of like swoop of blue braids, kind of like styled around one ear and falling down the side.
I immediately look at Loran.
Loran is like, oh, that's my best friend. It's my best friend. She's here.
My God.
Just so you know, Georgia isn't joining us for this session, but obviously she's here in our hearts. And you see that Shu and Cass have, between the two of them, the highest kind of like piles of gold and the most people sort of fawning over their booths. The two attendants behind the crates are kind of like wildly jumping between these two stations, making only brief pauses in between the other like 6 or so, where the front runners are obviously being bet upon. And you hear a few group of the guards say, "Oh no, my money's on the newcomer." And then you hear the other one say, "Over Cass, of the 0. Nah. She doesn't stand a chance." And they continue this sort of bickering.
Also says like to the others, well, we actually should put our money on Shu because she's an indestructible.
Mm-hmm. Saraza says, "This is one of your friends?" And pointing at Cass.
Oh.
Mostly around.
He looks up and you see another sort of above those portraits which first caught your eye. So yeah, maybe you saw this initially and then dropped your gaze down. You see a how do you call this in English? You see what is clearly a ballot of teams drawn, which gets smaller and smaller and smaller until you obviously have the last 2 teams in the middle competing. And on one side you have Shu and her teammates, you assume, underneath. And on the other side, you have Cass
Oh, no.
and her teammates who swim underneath. And as you guys watch this, as you guys hear the kind of crowds yelling and kind of jeering, you all feel a sort of drip of dread as you kind of realize that you may end up fighting Shu in the arena if everything goes pear-shaped. But even if you don't, and you aren't able to free her, Cass is scheduled to fight her, and you don't know who's on her team. So the stakes, we could say, are somewhat raised.
Right. If we can't get Shu, we need to warn Cass, because Cass will die.
Loran looks anxiously around, and he just...
Can't beat Shu.
No. He's quiet for a few minutes, and then he just says, fuck, also she's my best friend. I have to find her.
Okay, but how are we going to get out?
I assume they're all in the same area. When we get to the cells, when we get to the pit, I can cast a teleportation on the main door. Or failing that, the main stairwell.
But if Cass wants to fight, if we remove Shu, she should be fine.
Indeed. Don't we just need to lure Shu through the teleportation?
It's just... She went north. She went to find her parents. If she's here now, I just have this feeling that something went wrong.
Then why don't you message her? We have the stones. We can get intel safely that way.
Good idea. Right, and he says, no worries though, I can, do my thing.
Okay, when Shu does see me, she'll probably attack straight away. Just so you know, yeah.
I'm aware.
There's also something else. If you give her enough time, if she has the wherewithal to think of it, she could make a mental connection with me and figure out which one is real. So when that happens, we probably need a signal, because she'll only come for me.
And you said we potentially need to bring her down, but you need to be the one who finishes the job?
Okay. The thing with Shu, she's a very powerful fighter, but that's not the only thing that's keeping her from being destroyed. There's just no way anyone except someone who knows about her curse could end this. So even if she was in a fight, even if they brought her down, her skin, she wouldn't die. I'll show you when the time comes.
I think Loran says, I trust you, Ulster.
I'll do my best.
So is our main job protecting you rather than...
Keep me up. Distract her entourage. Kill them if you have to.
Do you think she'd have any reaction if you weren't there initially? Perhaps we could lure the entourage away and then give you a one-on-one.
I was thinking more we lure her away from the entourage. Cut them off, and we are only dealing with her.
Loran nods and just says, it's not a bad idea. I just worry in case they are in tighter quarters. If she's not in her right mind, it might be worth trying to appeal to people who have some sort of cognitive understanding.
Well, then maybe we stay behind with either Sparks or Sarah as a Loran. You take someone, you're good at talking. Maybe you could get the entourage away from her.
You and Sleer confront Shu. Sparks, Zarazur, and I lure the others away, and I'll leave them to them whilst I cast or try and prepare a portal for us.
Okay.
And if everything goes fuckety-dup, then we can figure it out as we go.
Okay.
I'm going to message Casto. And he starts kind of like sending in the corner, just quickly speaking into his hand.
Sparks?
Is Shu a shape changer?
Yes.
Is not in her original form.
You would consider her... So, in this instance, because she's a shape changer, you can consider her in two ways. A shape changer or a monstrosity. And any effects that affect either of those two creature types would work on her. But she is not a humanoid. Even though she has the appearance at the moment of one.
Right. I'm as a player, I'm thinking, would Moonbeam be at all helpful?
Yeah, potentially.
It wouldn't force her back to her original shape.
No, but it could weaken her.
Yeah.
Because shape changes make the saving throw with disadvantage.
Exactly, yeah. So it would weaken her.
That's against radiant damage.
So you guys start heading towards the the gambling pits. And you see Loran very quickly tosses a coin onto Cass's pile. As you move past, you notice there is a group of guards who are sort of standing two on either side of this kind of wooden gate. It's a half gate, so the upper area is completely open, but the lower area is shut with like a wooden slat over the top of the two gates connecting them. And then the guards are just standing there, kicking their feet, talking to each other occasionally. One is a human woman, and the other is a halfling who, again, you don't really recognize either of these people. They just seem to be more of the crowd who've been hired on to protect the onlookers and keep the peace here as best as they can. Though they're not trying their best.
Should Astra and I potentially hide whilst we go into Shu's area? Because if she sees or detects Ulster...
You get the impression, considering what Loran has described as like a pit, that there's going to be a very clear point, like a door or something, before you see Shu. Okay. Like you have the final moment to make your decisions, and this is not that yet. This is just like the stairs down. These guards are standing here. What do you do? How do you get past them? Sparks.
Question. if that warhorse, that celestial warhorse of mine, is within 1 mile of me, I could ask it to trot nearby and perhaps make a slight ruckus. It would be a shiny horse.
Okay.
That, I don't know, draws the guards' attention.
Sure. It is under your command, right? It follows your bidding somewhat.
The steed.
The steed bonnet.
Serves as your mount.
Probably would cancel that shit. Yeah.
I
think we're going to say yes to that. I think that's fair.
I'm trying to find the part that's it can understand a language that I speak, one that I choose. I can communicate with it telepathically. I assume I can give it orders. As long as I say please and thank you.
Okay. Yes, that's so funny.
And in my mind, hello, Steed. I need you to trot over over there, maybe about 20 feet away, and I want you to shake your mane.
Okay, so Steed goes and then starts trotting. And the moment it trots right onto the foot of like a goblin who goes, ah, and slaps the side of the horse. The horse looks down and starts just fucking pummeling this goblin, like kicking around, knocks him to the side, kicks up mud, stomps its feet, and just buckarooing around. We've established this thing as buckaroo. And I think that's sufficient for the guards to sort of like rush over and be like, hey, and try and start kind of calming down this creature, leaving the gate open for like you've got a couple seconds. So are you guys just gonna jump over it, or are you gonna? Okay, you jump over it. All of you make me dexterity saving throws as you land on stairs immediately.
9.
9. All stay. Whee!
Ow.
Oh.
Hey.
No.
Natural 20.
I really jarred my foot on that one.
15.
You get 1 point of damage. You take 1 point of damage, Ulster, as you go boing, boing, boing.
Oh, no.
Loran just kind of like lands like, and at the bottom of the stairs, spins around and catches you in his arms. Hello, and then he stumbles back because he's not that strong.
It could be a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse.
Catches him, and
We'll catch each
could
other.
as one final cue to the horse, I'll ask it to stare at all the guards as they approach, like dead in the eyes, and just like stand still to freak them out.
The last thing you see is the guards go like, oh god. As you jump down, you guys all land fairly soundly, and then you hear a splat as Sarza just goes face first in the mud.
Oh, I will run over.
You got a natural one.
I will run over and help him.
Oh, okay.
Loran's just laughing.
I take out a handkerchief and clean his face.
Exactly what I expected.
I fell too.
Yeah, but I caught you.
Well, no one's big enough to catch Sarza.
Yeah, I know he's. Anyway, I'm big.
I continue cleaning Sarza.
Mm-hmm. Sarza gets up and brushes himself down and just says, "No matter, to the helm." I mean,
no matter.
To the pit. You guys find yourselves 1 story below ground level. You can still hear the ruckus from upstairs. Down here... Allergy. You gave Lala too many kisses.
I gave Lala too many kisses. Now I'm breaking out in hives.
It's what happens to Lily.
Yeah.
Devastatingly. So, just a moment.
I do love you, Lala, wherever you are.
You guys come down to this level. Okay. Change the music. And the ruckus from upstairs is somewhat quieted. For ground level is somewhat quieted. And underground, you feel the air getting colder and just a bit more damp than before. The roots of this Colosseum have never really been moved. It's just the upper levels that get constructed and dismantled with the season, you know. But the main base area, the first sort of like bottom area, never really goes away. And you can tell that this is an old building. The foundations of this thing are worrisome. You touch as you move, feeling your way down, and as it gets a little dark, some of the walls, and you find the wooden kind of buttresses keeping things up are spongy to the touch. And if you run your finger down one, it comes away thick with a black kind of grease almost.
It's moldy.
And I think all of you have Sparks, you feel this sort of magnetism which pulls you sort of southward almost, which is luckily still the direction you need to be going, but you can't just shake this like feeling in the pit of your stomach, like there's something calling for you almost, something down here, which for you specifically just feels like it awakens something much older in you. And you think for a moment of a prayer of the land and of its surroundings. Make me a this may be a bit of an obscure one for you, but make me a nature check.
Ooh. That's a 17.
Okay, cool. So Sparks, you being a dragonborn, your first thought is that perhaps you have more of a connection to this land, to the place where Eldrelith landed, maybe more so than the others. And you sort of realise that, sort of triangulating it with what you know, that sort of gut feeling is pulling you in the direction of Eldrelith, the dragon's body. Ulster, you feel a similar feeling, except rather than coming from within you specifically, there's like a coldness spreading from the amulet on your chest, and it's a coldness which you can recognize in a very faint trace of in the mold and the soil of this place. And
Not good.
and then Sleer, because again, all of you guys have a connection here in some sort of way.
You're a kind of chocolate latte.
What? Why?
Because I love you.
Oh, I love you. Thank you.
Breakfast food.
Thank you. That's really sweet. Thank you. Sleer, as you walk through, you're reminded of your conversation with Joral and Corul, where that took place, and you remember how close you were to the Underdark. That pond kind of being the last frontier before the true caverns, which you guys never entered into.
Are you saying this goes into the Underdark?
But this area, though it is very close to the surface, you just feel when you breathe in the air like there's a memory, a forgotten sort of memory lingering in this place. This is not as deep as this place goes. That you know. You have that instinct. So, as you guys get deeper, you can see the ceiling, which makes the floor of the upper level. You can see light filtering through its cracks and the mud underfoot. And there is sort of like sand spread across the floor in areas where it needs to be more firmer for the combatants to walk. And you follow a sort of snaking path that's pre-trodden, which leads you to another set of stairs. Now, the Gauntlet, all of the arenas are built around natural phenomena. So the Zero, obviously, is built in the ruins of the underground city. The Grasses is in the grass plains. The Wastes is in the wastes. And what we're going to say are the blood sands here, are built into the sand, sort of like the sand of the kind of like more arid areas of Eldrelith. But where above ground you know there to be a lot more like dryness, dry earth. It just gets damper as you go down until you get to this point.
They don't have good ventilation.
No, where you realise that this area is hewn out of tunnels of some description, stone kind of tunnels, which seem to be far more ancient than the structures around it. Just from a first look, also, I think you'd be able to tell that definitely. And Sleer, make me a history check. Okay.
Sorry. It is a natural 20
Amazing.
for a total of 23.
Okay. So, you guys sort of watch as Sleer, you touch the stone, and you are reminded again of some of the disused tunnels, disused mining tunnels previously, which were abandoned long ago due to their proximity to the Underdark. This is something you would know from just being local to this area, from your mother explaining to you stories of this, and from the fact that Onrin and Phrynia have obviously a close relationship, being blacksmiths with miners and people in that kind of guild, needing to get their materials from them. So those bits of knowledge together all come to sort of let you know that you think this might be a arena constructed around tunnels, which, whether the organisers know it or not, could potentially lead deeper to the Underdark. Now, as you go deeper, you are sort of confronted with a new sound, where up above you heard like shouts and jeers. Now you hear the sounds of low, heavy footsteps, weapons being sharpened quietly, and murmurs. You pass an archway, which seems to be, again, much the same natural stone as before, except kind of like stabbed into the makeshift, sort of roughly stabbed into the rock, is this iron gate, which sort of is wrapped with a chain, but not locked, so you can easily unwrap it. It would just be very noisy to get through here. You think you're going to need someone who is rather light with their fingers to open this door without you needing to make a sound. Sparks, are you volunteering?
I have a +2 to sleight of hand, so.
Ooh, okay. Do you want to try it?
I also have that.
Okay, you guys can decide between you who wants to do this.
Is this a sleight of hand or a thieves' tools check?
This would be sleight of hand because it's not locked.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything that would help with this, so.
Hang on. Let me just check this all around. Plus. Just
You must have a higher dex, right?
Yeah, let me see. Lauren's a +3 to sleight of hand if anybody wants to assist him.
It should be you, Lauren.
Oh, glad you thought of me.
You should pick the lock.
Okay, who's assisting him?
I'm happy.
I guess looking around as this is done to check. So, like, if someone looks like they're looking over or approaching, being able to be like, all right, cease.
Sure.
Cease your activity. All right, does you want to roll twice?
You can roll, if you want to add your modifier, you can roll once.
You sure you want to roll twice?
I'm happy for him to roll.
Yeah.
So he got 15 with Ulster's assistance. So Ulster, you start holding onto some of the rope, and whilst the others keep watch, chain, whilst others keep watch, and you guys are winding it around, and then you hear like a.
Okay. Everyone stop and act natural.
Loran starts making out with you.
What are you down here? I'm looking for somewhere private.
Looking for something. I think you guys see a guard come around the corner and go, oh God, what are you doing?
Guys, cut it out. Come on. And looks to the guard like,
not into this.
Also, just flabbergasted. He's like,
we just. Can you blame us trying to get away from upstairs when we want a private moment to ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
And the guard looks around to the whole group and says, "A private moment."
We're a polyamorous group. This is our recreational sport.
Loran gags and says, "Yep." And the guard looks between Loran and Sarazor and goes, "All right, whatever, but just keep it to yourselves. This is a private area."
He's just a supervisor. He's not involved.
the siblings who look alike, and then there's two Ulsters.
Yeah, Astra is doing their best to hide behind Sparks, like, okay. I will not be seen.
They look at the brothers, they look at the twins, they look at Bluey and they go, nice. And then they leave. Well done.
Sparks, I think you just got a reputation.
I think I'm gonna vomit!
Hey, you started the whole coming down here to make out thing.
I was making out with you! I wasn't making out with... No. I'm not saying this
Can we get the door open and then go? And never think
yes,
about
we
this
need to kill that
again?
guy.
Shut up!
It's fair enough.
We do need to kill that man, though, because he has seen us. Right, and he'll come back. Or knock him out.
Or seduce him. We all look at Zaraza.
Why me?
I don't know, you just seem like you might be his type.
The chain.
Okay, right. So you guys start winding the chain and it comes off very easily and slowly pushing the door open, pushing it closed, winding it back. You get the impression the guard was doing his rounds and is going to keep clear of this area for at least a couple more minutes. But he is down here and you're aware of him.
Ever going to come back, personally.
No, well, this is the exit, so the only exit they know of. So.
I think we horrified him quite well.
Okay.
Not the twins, no!
Guys, can I just check what level are you all?
5.
5.
That's fine.
Why?
I'm just checking.
Just so we don't die?
Yeah.
Just DM things, you know.
What level are you, so I know how hard to make this for you?
Hang on a sec.
Do you want our HP and our AC as well?
Hang on. No, it's good. 7, 13, that's 3. 18 is 5. Oh!
What?
Wizards are so squishy! I was like, Loran's hit points correct? He's only got... Then I was like... Anyway.
So, protect Loran. And Ulster.
Ulster's got a lot more HP reserves than Loran.
Well, it's just because he's got like 3 really good stats and 3 really bad stats. So if it's Dex, Intelligence, or Charisma, he's your guy. If it's Strength, Constitution, or Wisdom,
why doesn't he have a high con, Emma?
He's got magical items for that.
Okay. He has a druid husband for that.
Hi, Lala, baby. Hi, baby boy.
Mr. Bully. Now, we have to have an intervention with Lala because he's really bullying Baz.
Hissy. Throwing a hissy fit.
He's having hissy fits. He wants his mummies all to himself.
Wow, he's such a beautiful cat. Can I have one? Cuddle. You want him? He's going to
have one cat.
Hello, darling. Baguette!
Long.
He's a baguette and he's been in the oven just a bit too long.
Yeah.
Oh. Excuse me.
Such a cutie.
Yeah.
Oh,
hi. Hi, chicken.
Hello, chicken. Hello, rotisserie chicken.
He's turning into a chicken. Look at him. You can see the chicken.
Pumpkin spice mama.
Anyway.
You guys make your way through, and as you do, you kind of hear the guard like just muttering down one of the side channels, which is clearly like their restroom. Like, I'm not paid enough for this. And I'm gonna have every one of you make a stealth check, please. It's gonna be a group stealth, so we're all rolling. Lala, where are you going? And we're going to add them all together and see how well you do. He's off.
Terrible excuse to guard that we're a polyamorous recreation group.
Polyamorous recreational polycule. Good stuff.
Honestly, could there be a bit of exhibitionism in there?
You what, sorry?
Could there be a bit of exhibitionism in there as well? Like,
Mom, I finally got my dream job, but it's not what I thought it'd be. That's how the porno starts.
19.
Okay, 19.
Also
plus
19.
Plus 19 plus.
Oh my god, it's the chicken! Look at the chicken!
6
Isn't it
plus.
chicken?
Sparks, what did you roll?
I rolled an 11.
11, that's not bad. 69 total.
Nice.
That's the polyamorous recreation.
Okay, with a 14 average. So, that's not bad. You guys managed to sneak through. A few of the waiting combatants notice you. And they don't say anything, but you get the impression they're not necessarily going to keep your secrets from the looks on their faces. You pass 3 pits, which are kind of like these lower, sort of like carved out hollows in the ground with sort of fencing over the top. Or they're just hewn out of caves, which are already there, but obviously had no extra sort of like exit on the other side. So they're like crawl spaces you have to get into, down on your knees into to enter. All of these kind of pits don't have a uniform look or shape. So in some of them you can't even see all the way in. You've got like these like tunnels which kind of obviously lead into a cavern on the other side. But the one thing they do have in common is the entrances are well barred. And as you walk through, they get scarcer and further apart. Except, actually, upon closer inspection, Ulster and Sleer, you realise they don't get further apart. It's just that the grates, which sort of indicate where these pits are removed and put aside because clearly they're no longer needed. As at least 4 empty pits with signs of life up until recently surround this kind of like latter end of the corridor.
I lean over to Sleer and go, I think they're dead.
Loran goes, oh!
Yeah.
So
you just kind of nods like, yeah, that tracks.
Is this the like combatants are kept in pits, and there would be grates on the entrances to them, but there's no need for them now because they've already died.
Supposedly.
All right.
Well, maybe they are also a polyamorous recreation group and they've gone to walk around and the guard is really traumatized.
They've escaped.
The polyamorous polycules have escaped!
Who is more disturbed by that, Sarah's or Loran?
I think they were equally disturbed as each other, to be honest.
Yeah. We specify in future that you guys are not in the same polycule.
We should not make that excuse in future, Sarah says quite firmly.
Well, he swivels Astra towards Sarah and pushes. We can say that's a polycule, and Loran and I are just together.
Loran says no. He pulls Astra back and says, this is a polycule, and they're just bystanders. Maybe they're together.
Are you saying you want Astra in a polycule?
No, I'm just saying if there's 2 Ulsters, they're both mine.
But that's weird.
No, it's not.
We're saying we're twins. That's weird.
Maybe you're just close-minded.
So Sarah's and you are in the same polycule. That's really weird. But if I'm in a
Because
polycule
we're
with my twin-
actually related.
No one
This
knows
isn't.
that we're not actually related.
Yeah, but it's fake. You know you're not actually related. So you can give in to the fantasy a bit more.
I link my arm with Astra, turn my nose off at Loran and walk away. Me and my twin are leaving.
Fine. Well, me and my brother don't talk anymore. Because he's a bitch.
Ignored.
And Cyrus just looks at him and says, like, this is not time, Loran. Clearly. You fool.
Astra just looks over at, like, Sparks, like, I'm not getting involved with this.
Oh, why does Loran have exhaustion? Go away. None of them.
Why does Loran have exhaustion? No.
We should stop. I don't like this anymore.
The food is obvious, yeah.
Food. So, as you guys get deeper, a silence kind of falls, and you see another pit appearing before you.
Should Astra and I hide?
You should hide.
Right. I back up towards one of the empty pits, duck around the great area, and I'm like, we'll go here, and then when she's alone, we'll come back.
Okay.
Okay. Does one of you want the message stone to...
We should pause that.
Yep. Okay. Just before we do that, we'll pause so that we can have our breakfast, and then we'll come back to it. Is that all right?
See you guys at 20 past.
Okay, cool.
Bouton?
I would like Astra and Ulster, please, to make me stealth checks.
16.
Mm-hmm.
Ba-ba-da.
Slia?
Sorry, I was in shock. It was another natural 20 for 21.
Okay, so 21 and 16. The two of you guys hide, concealing each other and sort of melting into the shadows. And Sparks and Loran, with Sarah's sort of bringing up the rear, considering he has no charisma.
No
You
risk. Sorry.
You guys take a step forward.
Mhm.
This gate is larger than the others, and you can see deeper into this pit than some of the others you have been able to before. What is this? No, Lily! Stop it!
I'm being silly.
Being lewd.
I'm being silly.
What are you doing?
Nothing. It was a twin joke.
Mhm,
Don't ask.
mhm.
Okay.
Anyway,
It's not as bad as you think it is. Don't worry. Emma's making it sound a lot worse. It was just silly.
pretty frame with pretty art.
It
I got
is.
distracted. I just wanted to show it to you.
Thank you for
You
showing us.
approach. That's okay. And in the shadows, kind of like at the back of this cavern, you see three figures. One seated, one sort of leaning against the wall, and one who was moving, pacing back and forth, like in slow, deliberate kind of movements, feeling the earth beneath their feet. And as you approach, two of the figures look up. One just doesn't even acknowledge you. One on the left is a sort of tanned woman with sort of brown skin, white kind of goldish hair in a tight coil that is kind of kept close to her scalp in a sort of top knot. And the other is a older woman, maybe about 40 or 45, with very short cropped hair, lighter skin, but they both seem to have quite haggard looks on their faces. Even though one is clearly younger than the other, they've been through the pits, you think.
They're both tired.
Mm-hmm. but they're both strong. They have these like wiry muscles kind of going from their shoulders down to their waists. Their legs look powerful. Their hands look calloused, as if they've held plenty of weapons in their time. And from the smaller of the two, the younger woman, you get this sort of feeling of sort of like an arcane, like, or radiant sort of nature coming off of her slightly. Yeah. And the two of them kind of look curiously as you approach. It's too early, the older woman says. But you're not guards. Who are you?
Hold on, Emma. Are they Messiah?
They seem to be, yeah.
They should have a Russian or a German accent.
There was an accent.
Yeah.
Was it not strong enough?
No, I was saying you should pick one.
Oh, okay. It is too early.
That's
I thought I was doing an
familiar.
accent. If it's not strong enough, I'll do stronger.
Stronger.
Strong.
Imagine if we had a Russian accent, it just changes everything.
Loran,
Loran.
I love you. Speak, who are you?
You're correct. We're not guards. We're I think starts to slowly say admirers, like looking at Sarah.
It's a fan club.
Loran says, exactly as she says, we admire you and your skills. In fact, I think it's fair to say that whilst your teammate there is strong and powerful, she is single-minded, yes? And they share a look, which doesn't really give anything away. And the young woman just says, make your point.
Our neighbour's singing very loudly.
It is. He is. Love that. Fly like a bird. I don't know. That's the only song that you're trying.
You just started singing loud.
Yeah. This is fun. It's actually quite funny. It's because their shower's there.
No.
I just had an insane thought.
Go do it. Give in.
What if I asked them if they could throw the match? I have a lot of money going on it.
Do it.
I'll
Awesome.
split it with them.
Leave she alone.
Look, I have to admit, we're not here on entirely above board reasons.
Here for the polyamorous.
Who is?
Some polykill.
She says. You think we're here? Actually, no. We may be the only people here with above board reasons. What do you want?
In either case, are you looking to I just realized throwing the match means fucking dying. Is that true?
Just do what comes naturally to you. See what they say.
I've put a lot of our she gestures to her and Sarah, our family fortune against the both of you, let's say. But I think we know you to be so skilled that you could perform so brilliantly in such a way that could treble the money and could mean that you get a split of it.
You think your family fortune is worth more than our lives or our purpose? That's very ballsy.
I have a theory that Romy would murder them.
This is so unlike Bluey. When does
He
the
says,
perception roll come?
make a persuasion with disadvantage. For funsies.
Okay. Fair enough. Oh, well, they're very similar. That's an 11.
Okay. I think that she says, you understand what you are asking of us would encourage us to neglect, knave, and abandon our church. The only reason we're here in the first place. That is not what we do. You understand. But you could help us win, if you like. There's only one real contender anyway out there, and she could be dealt with quietly now.
Is this the strong?
If she forfeits the fight, or is unable to fight, you'll get your money back and you can put it on the winning team. Not that we care about winning. It's mostly just our lives.
Now,
Sorry,
you've
he's
got it
singing,
all.
so it's so funny. I can hear him so clearly.
You've got
Go.
it all. You've got the strengths, you've got the skills, and you've got the fucking planning maneuvers in your brain. I love it. I love this so much. This is terrible. Sorry.
I think that Loran is like, where are you going with this?
I don't fucking know.
Okay, Loran says, all right. I'm curious about your relationship with this other team member of yours. You speak so reverently of her. Could you tell us anything? And they just share a look and they say, the older woman says, you don't know the power that she holds. It is beyond anything. And she must be protected. We forsook our country for her. Travelled with her. When her keeper could not.
Hey.
His punishment, it pained us. You didn't even hear, you're not even here, Lily!
I would like to
But
ask.
it pained her more. And so we wait. Keep her alive until the day she can be free. You can help us. Keep her alive. Can't you?
I think so. I'm wondering why she's here in the first place if she needs to be kept safe. But if that could be
I think
that can be
the
between
younger
you
woman,
and your maker.
the younger woman looks anxious, but the older woman says, I am tired. We have been at this many years. What harm is there in sharing my story? Our story. If you cannot kill strong Cass of the Zero or incapacitate her, then perhaps you will be the only ones left to tell it. We are tired. And she is powerful. We were raised as acolytes of a certain idea. Quietly, of course. My father, he believed that there was something more to our land, another people. He said that he had seen them, that he had known them. Like ghosts they were, he said. But I believed his stories. Until the day he died, I believed him. That there was a more primordial force in my country, waiting for its chance to be redeemed And I never saw any evidence of this blind faith, except that I knew my father and that he was not a liar. My people, my clan, we lived in the darkness, collecting these histories, and I quietly collected my evidence and my proof, and I waited. And then it was one migration that a young royal disappeared, and the whole country was in uproar.
Oopsie.
He went to the center of the Maasai, they said. I knew that was not true. But I do believe he got far further than he ever should have by himself. And then he was found, and my faith was rewarded. Because he was not alone. He was with a magnificent creature. When I saw it, we knew it for what it was, but we were too late to speak up. And the boy was punished. And she was to be banished, already cursed. It was all we could do to protect her. She has this fearsome way about her. Everything that she is, has been hidden away. But I know what it is under there. It is the ghost story that my father told me.
Oh.
It is my faith. And perhaps she is the last of her kind. And if I die protecting that, then so what?
The half-blooded Lachey in the next room, like, ooh!
Mm-hmm. At least I'll die laughing at that king who could not see the power that was in front of him, the majesty. After everything he's done, he deserves to be laughed at. At which point Loran says, "Can I just have one moment? That's a lovely story." And he pulls you back and he says, "I like this lady."
Because she's making fun of Rowan.
I like this lady.
Rami's a fucking Lachey, mate! But no one knows that.
Yes, she actually seems quite nice. And also, is she talking about Ulster?
100%.
All right.
I don't think she's an enemy, shockingly.
Let's not kill them at the very least.
Hang on. And Loran turns around and just says, "Lovely story. I'm going to go and murder Cass for you, because I like you." Capiche? And she says, "Thank you. If you have any more questions or any more to offer us, we will be here." And,
I have a question for you,
yes.
DM.
Yes.
Is Ulster within hearing range?
Yep.
If you raise your voice.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good.
At which point, Loran and you, and Loran pushes you and Saraza back around the corner towards, sort of out of sight of the cage, towards where Sleer and Ulster are hiding. And he just says, "She loves you. She's obsessed with you, this lady."
Well.
So this lady, who we just spoke to, she's like super pro-shoe, anti-roll me, on your vibe. I think that if you release her, you may actually have a quite powerful ally.
I've never done that before.
What do you mean?
Sorry. When you say she's anti roll me pro shoe, I didn't hear the entire conversation.
He recounts the conversation to you, so we don't have to do it again.
Also, his face just like goes, oh, like
She
She's
said
probably
that she's
evil.
from a clan that lives in the dark.
What clan as well.
That would be the same one that the men said.
Wasn't Ulster engaged to the message?
To Alabek, yeah.
Yeah.
But she the men said, you know, are like the historiographers. They like they collect sort of samples from the land, and they like preserve the sort of like history, and they go deep for that.
Did you get their name?
No, I thought it might be better not to know their names just in case. But
Could you get them? Pop that.
all right.
Be really helpful.
He disappears for a second, and he goes to the women, and you guys over here. And just to check, what are your names? What are your names? And you hear one of them say, "I am Mena Mensaj," which is the lady who was speaking to Mena, Menna.
Ah, that's what my boss is called.
Oh, Mena van Prague.
Yeah.
Ah. Oh, I need to change the next name then because it starts with a V. Hang on, because that would be annoying for you, I feel.
All right.
Name. Let me see.
Ulster has an idea.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obvious. But... Okay. So, one of them is called Mena, and the other one is called Durina.
How do you spell that?
DurYna. Mena and Durina.
Mensaj.
Both of them Mensaj.
Right.
You get the impression that they're either mother and daughter or sisters.
Also holds up a finger. Before we launch into the whole, they're a big part of the. Well, you don't know those people. They're a big part of the Shoe fan club. I just would like to have a little more information surrounding these two. Because again, this is something that my psychic prowess, does not cover.
Okay.
I feel like I want you to talk to them, but the issue is Shu is them.
Yes, which is why I would like a little more information.
Okay,
So
how about you speak to them through the sending stone? I can give it to them.
I can ask for information from another source.
Okay.
Just stay there. And he goes and sits in the corner. And can you mute for a second while I run this by you?
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, you pull out. Right, this is going to throw a little bit more bizarre oddity into the works. You pull out from like a long forgotten spot in a leather pouch that you have a tiny ring, a little thin ring that's quite old, with a black tourmaline stone and 2 diamonds on either side of it.
This is another one of mine. Never mind.
And you sort of attach it to your stone. Go on.
Hello?
God, what's he like?
Grumpy.
Okay, you're going to speak in massage,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm not going to... You do an accent. He goes, it's you. What do you want?
Alabek. Wow, it's been such a long time.
Indeed it has.
How are you?
Well, I'm faring just as well.
Did you get my letter?
I did.
Wow.
I was hoping we would speak about it in person, but I suppose that is not going to happen as you've absconded from court.
Don't worry, we can speak about it in person at another point in time.
You don't want to speak about it now. What was it about me you found so repugnant? Was it my personality?
No, Alabek, you are lovely, and I'm sure you will have a very lovely fiance one day to match. It's not you. It's
what do you want, Ulster?
Would you perhaps be able? Is it rude of me to just ask you for help? I do genuinely apologize.
It's a convenient time for an apology. He's quiet for a moment. What? What is it?
Well, you're the head of your clan, right?
My father, but
Well,
yes.
You're up and coming. I mean, you're going to do great things.
Yes, I suppose.
Do you know about potentially two? Well, we don't have people who leave the Maasai very often. Do you know the names Mena and Durina?
Yes, they are my second cousins.
Oh.
Well, they were.
Well, they were. What do you mean they were?
They both disappeared quite some years ago.
Right.
Mother and daughter.
Mother.
I call them second cousins because it's too complicated to explain it otherwise, but...
I know the feeling. Well, do you have any information about them before they disappeared?
They were travelling to the Ice Palace as part of a religious mission to your family's tribe, and they never made it there. Or at least that's what they said.
This religious mission, and also make sure he's speaking in message so the others can't understand, because he knows this could be information that he's not supposed to have. This mission wouldn't have anything to do with the Shay peoples, would it?
What do you mean? What does that mean?
The ghost stories we used to tell about the centre of the Maasai.
I've never heard of a Lachey, but I'm not sure, really. I wasn't that close with them. I just know their names and then the fact that they disappeared.
I never heard of a religious order dedicated to ghost stories.
Well, their father was a reclusive man, and his husband was even more so. Perhaps... Well, I did hear that they often went deeper than they should have in the archives.
Okay. I may have found them.
You found them?
Yes.
We've had people looking for them for years now.
What would be their status if I returned them to the Maasai?
Well, they would be welcomed home. I don't believe there's any warrant out for them, none that I know, unless your father has said otherwise. Or your mother.
Well, I have no idea what they do. I have no control over their actions, as you know.
Look, the last we knew they were travelling and they never got to their destination. We thought them dead.
Okay. At the moment they are alive, but they are in danger. Is there anything you could give me to help convince them to return home? A family member? Something they would miss?
Well, the daughter did have a fiancé as well, but I don't know if they took the disappearance in their stride.
Which is the daughter?
The daughter is Durina.
Durina, yeah.
I could speak with them. Certainly. So does this imply you're coming back to the Maasai?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's just so much to do. Maybe.
Good. Well.
Why is that good?
Well, before you marry, I know of your impending nuptials to the prince of a prayer.
Mm.
I would at least like to have a conversation with you to formally end things between us before you marry.
Oh, I probably won't come back to the Maasai before that, but if you want to meet somewhere in the middle, maybe we could...
What do you mean, in the middle?
I'm in a prayer.
I can't leave.
We can. You can just, get on a boat or a teleport. I did it.
He's looking... you get the impression he's looking at you like you're speaking another language. He's like, why? I cannot leave. I have work here.
Yes, but you could leave for, I don't know, a few hours.
I don't want to.
I could take you out for dinner.
Oh. I've never thought about leaving before.
Well, it's actually very easy to do.
If you know the right people.
Really.
But it is allowed because you're not my mother and she's the only person who's not allowed.
Why is she not allowed to leave?
Because she's the queen, she has to stay.
But that's not a rule.
It's a rule in our family.
Why?
I don't know.
Curious.
court things, you know.
Seems rather sexist, if you ask me.
It was a bit sexist. It was a bit rude as well, how I was allowed on the migration, but, you know, rules. My father has a lot of them. But yes, you can leave. You can just come here. You can book a nice restaurant. It'll be great. And we can end things as friends.
Well, I suppose if I'm going to pick up my cousins, then it's a different matter entirely.
You'll come and pick them up?
Well, I suppose they'll need someone to take them home.
Oh, excellent. Were you on good terms?
I wasn't very close with them, but I'm sure they'd want to see a familiar face after all this time.
Okay, I'm just going to make a note of that you said this.
Oh, God.
That Alabek said he would pick you up. That's very kind of you. He gives a thumbs up back to the group.
Okay. Look, also, none of this is formal. Understand? I need to speak to my parents first, and then...
No, Alabek, you don't. You can just do things.
Not if I want to compete in the King's trials, I can't, Ulster.
You can. I mean, it's fine. There's no rule.
No, but I need to be certain I'm the one they'll put forward. There can only be one from each clan.
Of course they'll put you forward. You're the best option. I say go for it.
Goodbye, Ulster. I will contact you again.
Okay, bye. Pops off the phone. So that was my ex-fiance.
Oh, God.
He is the son of the head of the Mensage clan, who those two belong to. I have some information, some spicy information. Not that kind of spicy. He points at Loran. Just interesting stuff that could perhaps convince them to leave this place alive.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Would they leave her behind, though?
Well, okay, this is my theory. They love Shu because they believe that Shu is the last of her kind. Stay with me on this one. What if I told you that she wasn't the last of her kind?
I think Loran says as well, I think they'd probably be pleased about that, but they might be unwilling to leave her after being her protectors for so long.
But what if we could secure her safe passage out of here with me and provide them with information that would convince them to return to the Messiah? They don't like my dad. I don't like my dad. It's a win-win situation. Although they probably would like him more if they knew more about him anyway.
Do they mention... do you want us to mention that you are, in fact, here?
Well, you see, the thing is, Shu can kind of understand what we say. So you would need to get them away from Shu, or at least one of them away from Shu, one at a time, I don't know. Tell them, and then put them back. Because as soon as Shu knows I'm here, that's a problem.
Let's go kill the guard, steal his keys, and unlock the door and make them come out.
Yes.
Good idea. Who's going to go do it?
We could just knock him out.
Sorry, what is the...
Sarah, do you want to go hit him with a rock? Or a saucepan? Sparks?
I mean, I can
We're
always
knocking
just
the guard.
unlock the door, but that, again, doesn't take care of the guard.
I just want to be able to make sure we can lock it again for Shu's sake.
Indeed, that is what keys are generally used for.
Also, Slayer, you seem to have a bit of an understanding of the layout of this place, roughly. Any chance you think there's an extra exit from here? One that they maybe don't know about? I'm just concerned about walking the front-running group straight out the door.
We could always make an exit.
Well, I can teleport us, but I can only teleport up to a certain amount of people.
Oh. We could disguise them.
2 was going to be all right. If Cass is here, it's a bit too many.
If we have makeup and mud, we could change their entire look. I did that very often.
I think Loran says, great, Ulster. Let's first look for an extra exit so that we have a safe place to try and leave from.
Mm.
Okay.
Can I use a make a survival check to see if I can suss out natural
That'd be great.
exits?
Sure.
21.
21? Okay. With a 21, you hear from, as you kind of like walk in this like area where there's abandoned pits, you walk between them and you hear a sort of dripping noise, and you steel yourself a little bit, and then you sort of like duck into one of the pits, and you come into this larger cavernous room, and you see at the very floor of this room there is a kind of crawl space that's about maybe 3 foot by 3 foot wide, and just has a sort of like bluish reflection at the very, very end, which you believe could probably lead you to another cavern, which might be a bit more secluded, or perhaps even, considering there's a little bit of light at the end, to a kind of maybe disused mining shaft, or something of the like.
Can I follow this path just to make sure that we're not going to be like dead-ended and trapped?
Of course. You guys watch as Astra disappears for about 5 minutes. Sparks?
I think she'd want to ask everybody there, is there any sense in trying to detect certain magic about the place? Is an exit that we're looking for. She's thinking of using detect magic, but wondering if it's, I mean, it lasts 10 minutes.
Sure, why don't you follow Astra with that going and see how you do. Okay, so Astra, you hear Sparks kind of crawling behind you, following along as you feel like this like swathe of magic rush over you, and the two of you together, you kind of crawl down this spot. You're like bent at the waist, and at one point on your hands and knees for about 5 minutes, until Sparks, you feel a rush of illusion magic, and Astra, you suddenly stop as you see a cave-in at the end of this cavern.
Am I seeing that the cave-in is all
Has
like
a strange shimmering light around it?
Hey, Astra, I think we can keep moving through. And as Sparks winks, whether or not Astra's looking at Sparks.
Okay.
Astra will kind of like tentatively like move through the illusion.
Okay. Right. The two of you move through and very quickly stand still. As you see, if right in front of you, a kind of pulley with a bucket was being winched down. And it's a very narrow gap. This is not enough space that you would be able to get up to the surface. But you can hear very distantly a like commotion. But mostly you hear the winch and someone grunting. And you see a minecart being filled with gold as this bucket is just being like brought up and down from where you assume has to be the gambling den. All the takings being poured into this thing, and a ogre just sort of like sending the bucket back up after tipping all the gold in, and then taking the minecart and pushing it down through this disused mine shaft. You get the impression no one's getting no money.
That's right.
Well, if they are storing the money down here, odds are there is an exit down here. So
yeah, exactly.
This is a good way out to bookmark, essentially.
For sure.
Okay. We put down a custom marker on the map.
Indeed, and Loran would have conveyed to you that he needs like a little bit of warning before he can. Well, technically, it's a he wants to cast it as a ritual for the teleportation. So he needs somewhere where you guys can sit quietly for about 10 minutes.
Are we all able to go through the teleport, or are some of us going to have to do that?
Loran says I can... Look, here's the thing. I can do it, but I want to bring Cass with us, especially if she's going to be fighting with people she doesn't know. It might be safer if we move as a group, look for an exit that the majority of us can use, and then I directly teleport Shu to my ship so that she is somewhere safe.
I'll need to go with Shu.
That's fine. I just don't want to split up the group. Or at least, if anyone gets injured, then I can directly teleport them if you feel you're capable.
I'll probably get injured, just saying.
Another thing I can do is offer you the locket and you could put her in there.
Could try, but she's very strong.
No. Regardless, if this tunnel seems to pan out, we may not need to split up at all.
Okay, well then we've got backup plan and a plan.
Okay.
Which is good. Now we need to get them out of the place.
Great.
Did Sarah manage to get the guard?
So you guys kind of reconvene after this sort of 10-minute excursion looking for the exit there. And Saraza, in that time, moves slowly across the room in his armor. Every time there's a jangle, he's like... until he gets right up behind the guy. And then he just goes, sorry, and pommel strikes him on the back of his head. And he goes, oh!
Not the polyamorous recreational podcast.
My enemies, no! At which point, you guys...
PRP.
PRP.
Uh-huh. Is there... if detect magic is still going, and if it's not, that's fine. If it's still going, does Sparks with the knocked out guard sense anything? Any presence of magic?
I would say yes. There is a hint of necrosis here. A similar feeling that you would have felt dealing with the people in the Temple of Bahamut. And actually, that kind of sort of feeling has been plaguing you for a while. And even though you know as a group that you're probably going to teleport out of here one way or another, especially when you two see the tunnel, you feel this pull, almost like a lure, to go deeper into it. And Allstar especially, your stone seems to be reacting quite strongly to this place. And you get the feeling that down here, if you cast magic, there's a possibility for quite bad things to happen.
Me?
Yep.
Well, guess I'll be the bait.
Is that feeling of allure the same sort of feeling of being drawn towards Eldrelith?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is indeed.
Were we heading towards that feeling of Eldrelith as Astra and I moved through the tunnel?
Yeah, this kind of is vaguely... there were points where it diverted away, but when you get to this tunnel area, it's sort of stronger than before, almost.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If I cured... Oh, shit. Hang on. I can't scroll. There we go. If I cured a disease... that means I restore 5 HP. If I do that to a knocked out guard, that means the knocked out guard gets back up again.
Wake up, yeah.
Damn it. All right.
Yeah, unfortunately. There are some decisions you just have to make.
Hang on, lesser restoration. That'll be my second level spell slot, though.
We all peer around the corner at you and like...
Okay, actually, it doesn't do disease. It's poison, but not disease. Never mind. All good. Sparks feels worried, sensing the plague.
Sensing the plague.
Don't worry, the plague is always coming.
It's just you forget sometimes.
I know.
Okay.
I'll remind you. We need to get the one at a time. If you could just if you could unlock that door. He points towards the door that Shu and the entourage are in.
Sure.
And just bring one at a time to me. If they are mean, then they shouldn't be mean. I mean, anyway.
So, as you ascertain this plan, Sparks and Loran and Saraza head back to the people who look over at you and say, "Is it done?" And Loran says, "Look, I'm going to be straight with you."
Loran, straight.
I know, darling, I know.
Bluey looks tense and then is about to lose all her pretense, depending on the words coming out of Loran's mouth.
I'm going to be straight with you, darling. Would you like to go for a drink?
Oh.
Straight as you can get.
Yeah. He says, "Look, no, we did not kill her." At which point the woman hisses something in massage and gets up and says, "You fooled me." And he says, "No, we are here under different pretenses than we first told you. Not malicious ones.
Apologies.
We've brought a friend of your friend here. Your friend. Your charge. Someone you might want to meet before you make any decisions regarding your continued existence on this plane. We could be allies. Would you hear us out?" Sparks, would you like to say anything?
I believe he was once proposed to by
They're going to
Alabek?
immediately know who you're talking about.
Her eyes kind of widen. She just says, "Take me to him.
Oh no.
Take me to him now."
Honestly, we can stand and one of you two or both of you, if you want to take.
It will have to
I'm
be
happy
quick.
to
If she
stand
sees
here.
us leaving, she may get upset.
If she knows who you're
Okay.
seeing, she'll get upset.
Distraction. Well, I don't have
You
the
can just
horse
be quick. You
nearby.
can just be- Yeah, you guys quickly unlock the door and pull it open. The moment she hears the key turn in the lock, Shu starts moving quickly, but the two women slip out and the door is closed and locked as Shu kind of slams against the doors. And she reaches through and just misses a swipe at you, Sparks, but then slams the bars and steps back.
Grumpy.
Mhm.
Angie, no talk me.
And keeps
She goes and sits down.
and keeps pacing like Lala.
Angie, no talk.
Indeed.
Hello, I'm sorry about this. They'll be right back, don't worry.
Dorina especially looks quite just like upset by her leaving.
Despite lying to you earlier, there is a truth in that we do want to help protect, well, you and her.
I don't know how much I trust you yet, but I have to. Lead the way.
Is
together like
No. Not like that weird anime.
oh, come on, guys. Yeah, I think I'm going to, if Sparks can be at the very back, to like block vision, to shield out a bit, just so Shu definitely doesn't peer around a corner and yeah.
See.
Of
course. Yeah.
Also hasn't come out of his area.
Okay. So you guys lead the women around a corner and they move very quietly. Not quite as quiet as Drov, for example, but like quietly considering their size. And
How tall are they?
the mother is about 6 foot and the daughter is about 5'9", 5'10".
The guards knocked out. So
Understood.
Hmm.
And when they come around the corner, both of them stop and look at you, Ulster, and
Which one?
I think, considering they've been around Shu for so long, I think that they probably have somewhat of a semblance of that sort of like, maybe just a hint of that more psychic magic to them. And so I think they look between for a moment. Maybe the younger girl doesn't quite know which to look at, but the older woman, her mother, looks at you, Ulster.
I can roll performance.
No, it's okay. There's a more divine connection going on here. But you look cool.
You look great, darling.
And the older woman just says,
Hello,
hello,
I'm Ulster.
I know.
Nice to meet you.
And to meet you.
I've spoken with your second cousin.
Mensej. It's been a long time since I've lived by their rules.
Well, yeah, he's a bit of a stickler, isn't he? So, you are good friends with my good friend, Shu.
She is, I think you know, much more than your father would have us believe.
I do know. You know about the curse.
We left the Mensej lands with a small group. We camped near the palace. We left at break of dawn, eager to see if reports were true before our colleagues could even wake from their slumber. We aren't mindless fanatics. We always sought a proof of what we felt and what we were taught. If we'd gotten there and she'd been just some other kind of creature, some beast in need, we would not have fled as we have. But we know she is something more.
Do you know what she is?
My father once told me a woman came to the Maasai, a foreigner, who sought to prove that her people were the oldest of this land, of this world. And she could not, because the evidence to the contrary joined them on their journey. Those creatures, they are primordials, I believe. The Hainam tribe, they have a similar legend, but I believe the giants, I believe that those creatures were once people like us, somewhat. And that is why their minds are the way that they are, so intelligent. But, alas.
You're not wrong. She is part of the people. He kind of seems to be considering weighing up what information is worth giving.
Do not. You are close with her. You have had communications with her in her true form, or as close to it as I can imagine a human is able to see. I am not here to pry into secrets. I am only here to protect her. Hide what you need to hide. But no, so long as you do not harm a hair on her body, you have my trust.
Okay. you wish to protect her people, then you would have to extend the same protection to me. She and I share blood.
Your kin. I understand how you lived so long then. You are a primordial.
Well, half.
Legends treat them like fae, almost, of that other plane. I do not know their ancestry, but to me, they are the earth.
If you want to protect them, there are more. She is not the last.
Then we must go, together.
To the Messiah.
If you are one of them, and what you say is true, then come to the deep archive and you can call upon me and I will share with you my knowledge. Come with me. Come with my daughter. Your friends will be safe there. The outside world will never touch you again. And we can journey. There are underground passages. My father spoke of them. He chronicled them on his travels.
I will return to the Messiah, but that is not the current issue at hand. You know she is cursed. And you have to understand the nature of the curse that my father has placed on her.
Then speak, tell me. I want to know.
She is in a skin cage. When you say not to harm a hair on her head, she will try and harm me. And it will look like I try to harm her. But the curse can only be broken if the skin is broken.
By one of her own kind.
Yes.
It's almost as if your
Really-
father cursed you to never uncover that secret. How else would you have considered yourself but a human being?
He keeps his secrets very well guarded.
There is a conspiracy in this royal house. One which has punished you. And I will not allow that.
We can take the fight to my dad later. For now, though, I do think it would be best if we prepare to evacuate.
She holds out her hand and she says, evacuate we shall.
Also, I will take her hand. And he feels a bit sad that he never bothered to talk to these people before.
But she says, before you take my hand, know that it is offered as family and kin. If your parents will not accept you, I shall.
Guys,
Aww.
adopt all sets that we have going on. I love it.
Aww.
Okay. And she,
Aww.
most presumptive, brings you in for a hug and says,
Well,
much more than your kind. I will protect all those in peril.
well, that's great. You hug really tight.
And as you hug her, Ulster, there's a moment where your vision just kind of pitches black. And you see just every time you've killed this woman flash before your eyes.
Which I didn't kill her, it was everyone else who killed her.
Yeah.
He's like, this is fine.
Mm-hmm.
He just says, I'm sorry, and just pats her arm.
She smiles. It's okay. What shall we do? Shall we wait somewhere, hidden away? Or do you need a hand in this battle?
Loran, he gestures, is preparing a teleportation circle. With Shu, I've never had anyone else land a blow on her, so I would prefer to be the one fighting her lest she actually come to harm. That's the last thing I want.
She nods.
If
It should be safer if we hide in one of the pits then. They will send more guards. Bring that body. Hide it here. They will not check these, for they are empty, and their inhabitants long destroyed. The scent of blood, it is caked into this stone, and they will not investigate it. I am certain of that. If they do, I will end them before they can lay a hand on any of you.
that sounds great.
All I ask is you protect my daughter.
Of course.
Good. I hear them.
Okay.
Soon. Quick,
Sarasa,
move.
let's drag the body.
Yep. And Sarasa starts moving the body with you, Sparks. And you guys bend over double and sort of push it down into that cavern. And you can choose if you wish to hide it behind the illusion so that it's 100% hidden.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Although with his cake, how do we fit? No, kidding.
No, it's okay. I said it. I mean, 3
That
feet
cake, though.
by 3 feet. It's pretty much okay for anyone who wants to get through. You just may have to take off your packs and your swords and push them ahead of you. So, when you
That was Menant doing all that talking, wasn't it?
it was, yeah. And when you kind of sort that out, you guys hide in the pit for a moment as you hear another guard making the rounds, calling out for his colleague, but hearing no answer. And luckily, you hear him say, "Fucking drunk again," and storm upstairs. But also, you get the impression you've got a very short window in order to either lure her away or fight you in that area, with your friend supporting you, obviously.
Right. He kind of turns to Astra, who's still his double. It's going to be us. We'll probably have a split second of confusion. I'll try and get a hit on her. But when it comes down to the actual fight, I think it's best if you don't strike her.
I will prepare to stay close to you and support you however I need to.
Sarasa says, "I can help box her in."
Keep her in the space.
Overwhelm her with numbers. Sparks?
When just before she lays eyes on you, I'd like to do something to protect the both of you. Protect your mind. I don't know if she has mind
She's
stuff.
Not capable of casting magic necessarily.
But can she? You said she can speak with you?
She can make psychic connection, yes.
Okay.
But I would like to keep that open, if possible.
I'm just thinking mechanically, I would love to cast a Watcher's Will on the both of you, which would, for 1 minute, give you advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. I don't know.
That's cool.
That's good, yeah. You think that'd be fine? That's really cool. I wish I was a
cool,
paladin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't,
Loran?
before we go, don't intervene. If I'm bloody, if this fight doesn't go particularly well, as long as I don't die, and I mean really die, it's okay.
And Loran says, "You will not die, Holster. I'll make sure of that. But when we leave, I will have to take Ulster and Shu with me, no matter what. The rest of you go into the tunnels and await me there. I will come back here, and I will get you out. I promise."
Okay.
hopefully it doesn't come to that and we can just all escape through the tunnels without anyone worrying us. But if we are in peril, you run and I will get Shu out. Otherwise, this was all for nothing.
Shu and I stay together.
I will do my best also.
Okay.
And
Hold that as on Astra.
Astra, Sparks, and Saraza, the four of you prepare to exit the pit with the guard's key in your hands, while Loran stays behind with the others, drawing his circle on the ground.
If Ulster and Astra are within 30 feet of me, just before that door is unlocked, I will cast Watch as well. Oh, not cast, sorry. I will...
Invoke it, yeah.
Invoke it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as you guys prepare on the edge of the pit, about to strike, we will have to stop there for today.
I totally forgot the time.